Yeah.
Easily.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Big Ben Fishing Report. We're going to wait a few minutes for some people to hop on.
And let the wind die down.
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, speaking of wind dying down. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't even bother looking at the forecast. I'll just look outside and hope.
Dogfish.
There were three of them.
I've never seen redfish eat one.
Right.
Haven't? I haven't seen that.
All right, so we got some people on, and we're going to go ahead and get started and talk about current conditions and how miserable it is on the water right now.
In the hope of better things to come.
I feel like every week we're saying, anytime now, anytime now.
Well, this week was definitely, last week was a good week. I mean, fishing wise.
Yeah.
You know, the fish.
It was good,
Yeah.
but it wasn't where it should be this time.
It wasn't the breakout spring yet, but I mean, it was good, especially when you compare it to this week. I mean, this week, and it changed. Me and Pat were just talking about that before. I had clients coming in, and Saturday I looked at the report, the weather report, and it didn't look bad at all. I looked again on Sunday, and it had gone from 5% rain to 95% rain, and like 10 to 15 to 20 to 25.
Yeah.
Overnight.
And then it went to 35, 36.
Yeah, and it just got progressively worse from there. Yeah. And it was tough, but I know you fished, and I fished Monday and Tuesday, and Wednesday I just waved the white flag. Or waved the white sail, I should say. It was brutal. I literally I used buckets to drag behind me, and I had two buckets dragging. And my shoal water is only that high off the water, so it doesn't catch a lot of wind. And it was still scooting across.
Boogity.
Yeah.
So yesterday, as you guys know, what day was it? The day before? So Tuesday? What was yesterday?
Yesterday was Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thursday.
And,
Anyways,
the wind scrambles you.
so Tuesday I showed up at the ramp, and they wanted to go. I said, all right. We'll try to find somewhere, which I knew we weren't going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was blowing 30, gusts of 36.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And Greg was out there. Bri was out there.
Yeah. Right.
And so anyways, I pull up to the ramp, and they come up with the truck. They said, I hate to do this to you because you came all this way, but we're not going. And then one guy in the group says, well, if you think we'll catch fish, I'll go, and they can stay here. I was like, I don't think we're going to catch fish.
We ain't gonna catch enough fish.
So I just said to him, they said, what's it looking like tomorrow? I said, just as bad. I said, hey, we can go brim fishing. Just threw it out there. And they thought I was joking.
Yeah.
So,
Excuse me.
so I got home. It was about an hour later, Brandy. They called, and he said, were you serious about brim fishing? I said, yeah. They said, okay, let's do it. They're here from North Carolina, 4 days. They had me booked for 4 days. And
it's it's something that's really underutilized, and we kind of take it for granted because it's just here, and it's not something we do all the time. So it's something different. And a lot of times the week before, I took one of my clients, and we went up the river, and same thing, just, it's just me and him, and just threw little spinners, and, caught some really nice red breasts, some bass, and, a couple of warmouth, and it was something different. He loved it.
yeah.
It wasn't anything, you're not pulling drag or anything like that, but it's something he'd never seen. He'd never seen the area like that. He's always seen the flats out there. So it was really cool. And a lot of people don't, in our profession, what we do, we don't think of it that way. We just think it's like, well, are we just trying to burn some time? But, a lot of folks really like to see that because, like I said, it's a part of here that they've never seen.
Yeah. And then like yesterday, those guys, they're all up there in age, a little older than Pat. And, but, it had been.
So you got the handicap spot, is that what you're saying?
All right.
But it had been years since they had really done that type of fishing,
Okay. It takes you back to your childhood.
Yeah, and the one guy, he travels all over fishing. And so, anyways, we went to the river. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. it was the wind
It's
was
not white caps.
yeah, the wind was blowing hard, but
It's
depending
over.
on what bend you went around,
Yeah.
you were all right.
Yeah.
But just being out there, no one else on the water, peaceful, seeing the different birds. We probably seen 40 juvenile blue herons.
Mhm.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ospreys, bald eagles.
We saw deer when we were up there.
Yep.
We heard hogs. We didn't see them.
And probably 20 gators.
Yeah. I told you there was a lot of gators up there.
But I will say, I had it in my mind we were going to throw beetle spins.
Mhm.
And then I went to Wilson's Bait and Tackle, and they had it's a mini spinner bait,
Satilla spin.
the Satilla Spin. If you have never used one, you need to get one.
Mhm.
In fact, I believe. Let me see if I can.
That's Bert Diener's design.
Let me see if I can put a picture up here of it.
They make two of them, and you want the smaller one. They make a 16th and an 8th, I think. Last time I looked at them,
I can't remember if I used which one.
it's probably the smaller one you're catching. The 8th's a little bit. Is probably about. I don't know. It's probably about that big. It's probably like a 2 or 3 inch. No, probably about a 2 inch bait. The little one's almost. It's not much bigger than a beetle spin.
It's processing, but I'll get it up there. And the water was really clean. There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
If you guys like that type of fishing, definitely try one of those Satilla spins. I'm not paid to tell you this. I mean, you can see we caught fish,
Mhm.
and it was a good time, And they were here for 4 days to fish, and they'd already missed out of one day, so I was like, well, let's find something to do.
Go find something to do.
And speaking of drag pulling, we caught some mudfish on
Yeah.
the ultralight, 6-pound test.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh yeah.
But what river are we referring to? Well, there's a lot of rivers here. The Ikefina, the Osceola, the Wassissa, the Steinhatchee.
Yeah, they've all
You
got.
can go to the Swanee, Finn
Yeah.
Holloway.
Yeah, they've all got them.
Yeah.
Just kind of wherever you're close to and what whichever rivers you want. I will say some of them have some debris down, so you can't go as far in them. But most of them you can get a good day in them.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, it's new scenery.
We saw one other boat out there on the river, and they were catfishing with a young kid,
Mhm.
and it was about every cast.
Yeah,
They were
That's
using shrimp and just catching catfish off the bottom.
it's a wonder they didn't catch any redfish with them.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
I know the getting back to the windy side of it, we were talking earlier, and as we were drifting, I don't know if it was because of the way we had to fish, because we had to fish a little bit faster, obviously, to keep up with the thing. But the main bait that we caught the trout on, especially on Tuesday, was the Myrdines, those twitch baits. And like I said, we tried popping corks, we tried working jigs, but I just don't think you could work them fast enough to make them effective. And the Myrdine, you could just kind of throw it out there and just twitch it quickly. I know we did lose a couple to toothy critters, so there were some mackerel in the area, which kind of surprised me. But I figured with the cold air blowing down, they'd kind of push back out to deeper water, back south a little bit. But we did lose 2 or 3 to them, I'm sure, as either them or bluefish,
So
and a lot of ladyfish.
I have not caught. Well, we caught one ladyfish this week. I have not caught any bluefish or mackerel yet.
We didn't catch them, but they caught us. But yeah, I'm assuming that's what one of the two cut us off.
I will say
I caught some bluefish on last Thursday and last Panama charter. We caught one cut us off, but we caught the Spanish both days.
Yeah. Now, what was the water temp then? Do you remember?
the Friday was 75,
Okay.
74.
Monday it
75.
was, I read 73 at Eganfina.
Today it was 68.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Tuesday it had dropped. I didn't see anything but 68 on Tuesday. And that wind blew all the water out finally.
Yeah. So the bite's been slow.
Mhm.
You know, when this front pushed in, the bite slowed way down. The fish we caught today, both trout and redfish, not anything at all in their stomachs.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
You know? But I did catch a redfish. I'll share the picture. It was a 25-inch redfish, and it had 3 of those in its belly.
Yeah.
Dogfish.
He was hungry.
Oh yeah, a
And he
25.
still ate another bait.
A 25-inch red that weighs almost 9
Yeah.
pounds, with
He's
a
round.
big old fat belly on him.
He's round.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the same day we caught the reds up north, up in Eganfina, and there wasn't anything in their bellies. We had
That's the
3
only
good
one I
ones.
cleaned this week that's had anything in
Yeah.
its belly at all.
Yeah, the trout have all the trout I've cleaned have been not a thing in their stomachs.
But I wanted to show that or share this because look at the size of that fish.
Mm-hmm. That's the one you need on tournament day.
Well, not just that. I'm talking about look at the size of the fish it ate.
Yeah,
You know, and some people, you know, think that a bait can be too big.
yeah,
You know, and it can be. I mean, but big bait catches big fish.
it does. But also, you know, like we've talked about before, you get those, you know, big minnows and big big sardines and stuff. And I've caught 15-inch trout on that.
Yeah.
And they're not even hooked. That's the problem with big baits when you start getting fish that aren't proportionally to what
Yeah.
should be eating them, is it's hard to get a hook in them. But there is times, like I said, that bait will get stuck in their mouth and you'll literally bring them all the way to the boat and they'll never be hooked.
How hungry is that red? to eat
Yeah,
that
and
thing?
see, 3 of them.
Yeah.
Not just one, 3 of them.
Yeah.
It's like going back to the buffet when you're full. It's like, oh, I got one more bite. I can do it. And then whatever you threw at him, he ate.
Yeah. So
He was loading up. He was carb loading.
trying to think, that one I believe I caught on a Miradine, 17 MR.
He thought it was a toadfish.
Yeah.
Was it brown?
I was going to say, was it brown or yellow?
Well, they are funny. They eat crabs most of the time until it gets cold and around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I think I've already told this before. I looked over there and saw Preacher cleaning the red like a softball inside of him. And as he ran the electric knife to get that fillet, all this stuff fell on the table. And I said, whoa, Preacher, can I finish cleaning that? I want to look at that. I went over there and he had 43 fish. 43 fish in his stomach. 13 species. And I photographed it because I knew no one would believe me. But 13 different species. He had offshore and inshore marsh, all the marsh species. But he had a little pipefish, which is a triggerfish cousin. And he had a little blennies, which is a burrowing. And so he'd been out and inshore to feed up all
Eating
crabs.
the whole way.
But no crabs. When they can't get a crab, they'll eat fish, but they really don't, they don't even try to eat a fish until they can't get a crab.
Right.
And the good thing with reds is they're gluttonous. When they start feeding, I mean, they will feed until they just literally can't move. One of the secrets to when we used to fish a lot of live bait tournaments was you'd take and cut bait up until at the bottom of the live well and throw your redfish in there. And they involuntarily feed. So you'd look back in there in about 20 minutes, there'd be no bait on the bottom of that live well, and that redfish be that big around. But that's, when they're going along, if they're just feeding along, it's just like that. Something gets around their mouth and everything they're eating it.
I will say something encouraging. We're talking about right now everything's behind. The trout eggs are behind. I'm seeing some with decent amount of eggs, but not where they should be.
Yeah.
Every trout I cleaned today, the eggs were, that big.
Your real big fish, your 20 plus fish, the one, you know.
Even
clean
some of those
them.
aren't. I mean,
Yeah.
they're
The ones I
they
cleaned
have
this week
eggs,
were.
but they're not where they should be.
Right, yeah.
You know,
they
they-
don't look like they're about to pop.
No, they.
Yeah.
I mean, they should be about ready.
Well, this is the first month they spawn, but this is early for this year because we had 55-degree water 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
and that just stops it, stops that egg production, and that they don't grow, and they hold them until it's time.
Yeah, and it's. But I agree. The bigger ones have had some good eggs, but they're still they're not that translucent. The color's not right.
Yeah, and like I said, you're not catching. They're solid fish, but they don't have the big bellies on them from the eggs yet.
Right.
You know, they just.
Well, they're not stimulated by having any white bait to go pre-spawn.
Mhm.
That white bait gives them the protein they need to develop those eggs. They can't run down enough pinfish, and for sure, certainly don't get enough shrimp.
And we've got plenty of pinfish. I will say
Yeah.
that. We've got a lot.
Now, what I was going to say that's encouraging. The other day when I was out, we had two big schools of redfish come in on us, and you could tell they were migrating fish. They were very pale colored, and they were coming in from out deep and
Mhm.
just coming right by us. Didn't want to eat. Now, I knew where they were going, or I had a feeling I knew where they were going. And when we got in there, they were ready to eat.
Yeah.
But you know, you guys know as well as I do, the fish stays here very long, their color changes.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You know, these fish were like if you were catching
They're like
them
pink.
on sandy bottom.
Yeah. They have that pinkish silver to them.
Yeah.
And you can see those fish a mile away in the water because that color changes
Oh, yeah.
so distinct until
So
it's been
the
here.
wind was blowing, but you know how a school of redfish look. I mean,
Hmm.
when they start coming to the surface, it just looked like the water's starting to boil. And I was actually pulling in the drift sock to turn around, and I looked over. I seen something. I said, "What is that?" And it was a big weight coming at me. I said, and I told my client, I said, "Look at this shark coming at us." And then the water started boiling.
Yeah.
And then I seen red.
Yeah.
Well, not red, but I seen the color.
See the color.
And I'm like, "Oh my God, throw. And they threw everywhere.
I'll
But,
say, yeah, they never hit where they're supposed to.
it wouldn't have mattered because I did make a good cast. They didn't spook from us. They just turned.
Yeah.
And they were going away, and I cast it in front of them, brought it right through them. I could feel it bumping off of them. They didn't. Yeah, they weren't interested. They knew where they were going.
Yeah.
It was moving day. It wasn't time to feed.
No, and redfish like that, especially migrating fish, if they're not ready to eat, I mean, it just doesn't matter. Schools are like that in general.
Right.
You get around a school of fish, you can tell pretty quick if you're going to do good. Now, if you can feed them cut bait, live shrimp, you can usually get them to fire off. But if you're trying to throw artificials at them and you're working an edge or working a oyster bar or something like that, you make 5 or 6 good casts. If you haven't hooked one, you should probably move on and come back to them on a little different tide. If you're fishing an outgoing, come back to them on an incoming, or come back to them on a slack tide.
Well, what I did is it was coming in pretty hard,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all right. We're just going to focus on trout.
Let them get where they're going.
Let them get where they're going. Let the water come up,
Yeah.
and then we'll go catch them. And that's when I caught that one.
Yeah.
With the dogfish.
Yeah, I know all our fish. It doesn't matter if you're up here in northwest Florida, or if you're on the other coast or down south. There's a lot of times you can catch fish skinny, but 99% of the time they like water over their back. I mean, you got to be really, really good and have a really good day to catch them in less than 6-8 inches of water, unless you're out in Louisiana.
Right.
Around here.
Louisiana, their backs could be out of the water.
Yeah,
They're crawling
it just-
in mud, and you can catch them.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter there. I literally hit them in the side when they're doing that, and they turn around and look for it.
Yeah.
And here they're not crazy spooked here, but they do spook. And if you try and approach them too shallow, even if they're there and you can see them up there, and it's you got to work hard and work. You're going to make noise getting to them. It's probably not going to end well. You're going to blow them out. If you give them another hour and a half, let that water get 6-8 inches over their back, they're a lot easier to approach.
And when you do get in there that shallow, especially here coming up, we have some of those evening negatives. I like to get out there on those tailing fish, and you botch more than one cast. Typically it's you might get a couple at them, but
the sight fishing game is always, everybody always talks about, we're going to go sight fishing, we're going to go sight casting, this, that, and the other thing. If you're really going to sight cast and sight fish certain fish, you got to plan on catching about 10% of the fish you see.
Yep.
I mean, if you're just going to blind cast and do all that, you're going to catch a lot more fish than you will by going and saying, okay, there's a tail, we're going to approach him and we're going to catch that fish. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to catch that fish because everything's got to be right.
Unless you're Louisiana.
Louisiana's a different game.
Yeah.
And there's areas in Florida, like Jacksonville on the flood tide.
Yeah. I mean,
you can literally go.
There's areas here, but you've got to have the right. You got to have the right boat. You got to have the right equipment. Going out there in a John boat and there being any chop at all, it's not going to work.
No. I mean that sound goes everywhere.
Yeah.
But I mean it's in how you like to fish. With clients, we're usually trying to cover ground and cover water and make a lot of casts, catch a lot of fish. We get those clients that want to specifically just go and see them and catch them and do all that, and that's fine. As long as their expectations are that, they got to realize. I always make the joke that fly fishermen are like quail hunters. You show them the fish and they're happy. They just have to have the opportunity.
Right.
Us guys that try spinning rods, screw that. We want to catch the fish. We want all the opportunities. We want to catch them.
So the main lures I've been catching them on has been the Assassin, Sea Shad, and the Goldfish.
I used that the other day.
Goldfish has been doing pretty good. It's
rig like we've been rigging them on the.
So it depends. Today
you needed about 3 pounds to make it stay under the waves.
Yeah. I've been throwing a lot of nose, so it's unweighted.
Yeah.
But today we had the actually 1/4 ounce Assassin 3/0 swim bait hook. Just the wind was just so bad.
Yeah, and that's what I said. The first Monday we got out early before the wind really got cranking, and we were able to work in along the edge. The tide was still dropping, but we had enough water, so we had a lot of protection. And the rain hadn't started, and we were able to use a lot of the swim baits and stuff like that. The Assassin Pallet, we used the 5-inch tube rigged on the bigger hook, the 5/0 hook, and we caught fish. The next day, Tuesday, we had no water. It was just completely blown out. And like I said, because of how fast we were drifting, I couldn't get those baits to work. And we were trout. We were on trout. The Mirrodine, especially the flashy, the electric chicken, the silver with the chrome broken glass, the gold broken glass.
So today, the electric chicken would not catch a fish. I was throwing the one that looked like the pinfish, the 17 MR pinfish one. And then Ernie was throwing the electric chicken. He didn't get a bite. And then the other 2 guys were throwing the Sea Shad and Goldfish. I caught fish, the other 2 caught fish, and then finally I said Ernie was looking for a different lure in his box. I said, "Here, tie this unfair arrowhead on." I said, "I've never seen one of those," and he finally caught fish.
Yeah, it's like I said, we had early, through most of the day, the electric chicken was working. I was up off Econfina. And then the sun got up high and it slowed down, and I grabbed a color. It's a new color for MirrOlure. The whole thing is chartreuse. When you put it in the water, it looks like lime green. And we started catching fish on that only because I think they could have seen it over at St. Mark's. It was that bright in the water. So Yeah, it just I don't know. They just the color, the sun and everything got to that color, which you have a lot of sun today.
Yeah.
And once
Well, sometimes.
yeah.
It got cloudy on us. In fact, it actually looked like it was about to rain on us.
Okay, it stayed sunny here all day.
Yeah. But we were catching fish when that sun would come out. Is when we were catching
Mhm.
fish.
Yeah.
But I know we keep saying it's coming, but
Well, now we gotta get rid of the wind.
yeah.
I think we got what?
I think it's like Pat said, we're
yeah,
6
we're
weeks
waiting.
behind on everything. This
Yeah.
is early March weather right here.
Yeah. We I fished Friday the 3rd, and before these fronts got here, I went offshore the day before and bounced around and caught 5 trout in like an hour and a half, keepers. And so I said, well, I'll start my charter out and catch some blacks and some trout. The trout didn't cooperate. We had 3 keepers, and we fished from 9 to 1 o'clock, because I had 2 hours for the tide, and then I went trout fishing. And I'd caught pinfish, and I know y'all don't want to hear it, but a lot of people out there fish with them, and I had a boy in the boat that had never seen the Gulf of Mexico, much less fished it. And he caught 7 keeper trout and a 23-inch red. And the guy that had fished with me 2 or 3 times before didn't put another keeper in the boat. I don't think he may have caught 1, but and it was literally where he was casting. He was throwing under the boat instead of out in the corner. The reason is that he wasn't making the noise popping. It's not where you throw, it's what happens how it's set up between you and the rod. But anyway, I was throwing more for the kid in the front, because he, like I said, his casting, he learned how to use a spinning reel that day. So, but he had a blast, and he had a blast when he caught that red. I don't think he ever stopped turning the handle from the time he hooked the red. I was telling him, quit reeling, slow down. And he would drop the rod. I said, no, don't do that. And so he would break it back up reeling. And when the red went up under the boat, they all charge under the boat.
Oh yeah.
I'm reaching over there to pull the rod down, and he started fighting me. He thought that
You gotta take it from him.
he thought that I was the fish taking that rod. So he's fighting, and so we're standing there, and I said, well, if that red stays on there, it was just meant to happen. And I netted it, and but like I said, we caught 7 or 8 keepers in 2 hours on bait, and they missed more fish because they wouldn't let it go. They wouldn't let them run. When they went under, both of them went for it. And I said, y'all got to catch a count. And so sure enough, he counted, but he set the hook on 2. But he made it to 8. But I said, what are you counting for now? You said I had to count. I said, before you close the veil, before you hook it. But it was
He was
fun.
counting though. He was getting that part
He
of
was
it.
dead counting. Now he was absolutely counting. But they had a good time. We had limited trout, 1 Spanish, and 15 black sea bass.
Yeah, I actually messaged Rachel to get some pinfish traps, and then I got busy, so I need to get those picked up.
Just throw some iridines. You'll catch plenty of pinfish.
Oh yeah, we caught some today.
Yeah, we did. When you were telling the story, some of the the right sized ones, we just threw them in a live well, and the one guy, he liked using live bait, so he would just put them out there and drift behind. He caught trout on every one of them.
Yeah, we caught some bouncing groves out there in 8-10 feet of water.
Mhm.
Those pinfish were smaller than the jig and bait,
Mm-hmm.
and they were getting hooked through the side, through the eye, whatever. But they were chasing the assassins we were throwing. We caught them on the Lime Truce, Sea Shed, and the Chicken on a Chain. But now this is curious. Never done this before. If you threw this Chicken on a Chain Sea Shed out there with the tail on it, you caught a little black sea bass about that long. But if you bit the tail off, you caught nice blackfish and nice trout. But I had to bite the tail off, and they eat it up. But when you had that chartreuse tail on it, they said, "No, we don't think so."
You mean you can catch fish without the tail on it?
I mean, I caught all 5 of those keepers.
You mean to ask that you can
The
get
day
clients to
before.
throw a bait without a tape on it?
Yeah. No, I didn't. I threw it. They were throwing lime truce.
Yeah.
All or whatever that color is, that green and lime truce one. But I've got to find out if Robbie even makes it anymore, much less what the name of it is.
I've always said if pinfish ever
Well,
got to
there
be
was a
five-
lime truce.
Oh no, he makes lime truce, but
Mhm.
this one is lime truce and green
Oh,
with some silver glitter. It's kind of like instead of pink with the green on, there's not that much green in it. I had one string of them, and I finally broke it down and put it in the bag, and I've had those things 10 years, and I have no idea the name of the color. They probably don't exist anymore, but we'll find out. I may head over there tomorrow.
if you do.
So if you
I
do,
need
let me
some.
know. Yeah, let me know. I may ride with you.
So,
I was gonna say if a pinfish ever got to be 5 or 6 pounds, you wouldn't be able to swim out here.
oh
Those
no.
suckers would bite you.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like piranhas.
They do sometimes during
Yeah, they're
Scallop
season.
season, yeah, they'll come up there and nip at you.
I need some of these, Pat.
You want some
Freak show.
freak show
Yeah.
little balls.
Freak
You
show.
found something even more red, hadn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
What
know
about
if I can
red
show it.
gold?
No, they can't see it.
No, what about red gold? Like you said now you're throwing goldfish. Is that because you can't find any?
I do.
red
I
gold?
have been throwing red gold also.
Yeah, that's when I was using. I wasn't using goldfish. I was using red
Yeah.
gold.
Red gold's an old color. It's
I-
actually called red gold shiner.
I have both. I have red gold and goldfish, and they're both working the same. But this freak show,
Freak
I like
show
the
is
red
which
gold as
one?
long as the
Little
sun's
boss
out.
little boss,
instead of the boss.
little boss, and freak show.
You,
I've never seen
you're gonna have to text me that. I won't remember
it.
it. Freak show is not the name I'm gonna remember.
So it looks like it's red. I have not used it.
Red with red glitter.
Well, no, there's gold. There's gold and red glitter.
Oh yeah.
Is that green?
It's red with red glitter.
But is it green too?
Oh, it is green.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to save this picture so I can put it up there. People are probably wondering why I'm not showing it.
It might be the new hot color.
Well, so
for this week.
So a friend of mine has been using it in the Ormond Beach, Daytona area, and wrong one.
Did you lose the feed?
Probably.
Are you catching them on this one?
I haven't used it.
There it is.
I didn't use it the last couple days.
You're not throwing it.
No. Well, like I said,
That's
was
what you ought
throwing-
to have under a cork with the.
I know, but like I
116.
said, it was so
It's
the
so
wind was
windy.
so rough. You just couldn't keep up with the cork. I mean, it was, and then you were on it.
All right.
We were
So
drifting at like 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, but you can throw 200 yards.
You can.
you can, but you're drip. So
That's after you untangle the wind knot from the 2 casts previous.
So I've got the biggest drift sock I could get, and today we were still drifting 1.8 mile an hour.
Yeah. And I had 2 of those. They're bigger than 5-gallon buckets, whatever they are. The next size up, they're like 6.5, 7-gallon bucket. I had 2 of them over. And my boat, it's like, your boat doesn't catch a lot of wind either.
The size of the bucket doesn't make
I can't get it to come up, but look up the freak show and you'll see what we're talking about.
freak show. You won't be able to tell on mine
No,
what color it actually is.
but you answered Ricky Kern's question. He said, Pat, how deep were those black bass y'all caught? And you said 8 to 10 feet.
Yes, I was in 7 feet on low tide, but mostly what we caught Friday was 8 to 10. And I ran from the rain and ran 4.6 miles from one place of catching, and then went to catching them up there. So it wasn't a big secret as to where are you. You just had to know where the rocks are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where
And you can catch them from 4 feet to 10 feet.
If certain time of year,
if
but
you're
they-
on the right.
Good
they haven't really shown up. They're not really out. We call 4 to 1, 3 to 1, little ones to keepers. They are not, as thick as they should be. because it got so cold, and they spawn and then they come back and follow this pelagic bait back in. But when like I said, with the number of little pinfish, and I'm talking about 2 inches and less, that we hooked, means there was thousands of them out there. There was a lot of them out there, and that's drawing. But the crabbers are pulling traps too, and that's helping. They pull traps out of the waters. There's a lot of traps in some of the waters I'm fishing, and that keeps your numbers down. Whether they keep them or not, they go in those traps after that food.
Right.
So anyway, but they're not like they should be yet. When it warms up and we start seeing some cobia and some more Spanish, I lost 1 jig in 2 days. So I mean, if they're not very many Spanish out there when you only lose 1 jig.
The bait's just not here yet.
Yeah, and I've heard
It's not.
just talking to a few people over, towards St. Mark's and stuff, that they're seeing more Spanish over there.
They always get them early.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And I hadn't seen a lot. I had a couple lures cut off this week, but it's still, like I said, the bait's not here, and they're just, there's not a lot of birds working out there.
Nope.
You're not seeing when the Spanish are around, you see them. Yeah, they start busting on the surface. They start breaking through the surface. But
Yeah, and with the water still being so cool, I mean, 68 degrees today.
and I was surprised at the amount of ladyfish we caught. We did. I mean, we had a couple spurts where,
Kenny and I sent them up there too. We don't want. We told them just keep on going and go see Greg.
I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of nice to see them there for a little bit because it was a slow day, and we had one drift where we probably doubled and tripled up on for 15-20 minutes. Just a school of
Oh, they're
ladyfish
fun
stayed
to
with
catch.
us. Yes.
Oh, let me tell you what happened. The boy would catch a fish, and then he'd have the rod, and he'd pull him out of the water. I'd say, "Get him out of the water! Get him out of the water!" And he'd have him in the boat. Look, and then all of a sudden he'd swing it back out over the water. I'd say, "Keep the fish in the boat." And I added some expletives later. I said, "Keep the fish in the boat." So what does he do? He hangs a ladyfish, and I said, "Get that thing out of here!" And he said, "You said keep it in the boat." And of course, she deposited her interest. She left her deposit with us, and I said,
Typical lady.
and so the boy that hired me said, "Oh, we don't do that with ladyfish. You don't bring ladyfish in the boat because they'll poop all over you."
What's a ladyfish?
But hey, I had just gotten through lecturing him about letting the fish get back out over the water, And so what does he do? He lands the damn ladyfish. Yeah, let's get that one in the boat.
That one's not getting out.
But it always comes back to haunt you as soon as you give them a rule. you make a rule, and then that rule's no good for 10 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't catch but one of them. We jumped a few of them. If you don't set the hook, you can let them get off.
Well, like I said, I wasn't upset to see him because it did stretch
On
the
the dang
line.
Neridine with 6 hooks in it.
Yeah, they were a pain in the
I
butt.
don't
man.
enjoy that.
I'll tell you when I can't catch them.
When you need them for bait.
Yeah, when I'm going shark fishing and I want ladyfish for sharks, I can't catch them.
Well, what usually happens is you'll hook them, but you can't get them in the boat.
Right.
They jump off every time. You want to get rid of them, they never come off.
I had a guy and he wanted to fish with a fly rod. He said, "Can I bring a fly rod?" I said, "Oh, sure, you can bring a fly rod." And I said, and then 1, 2, 3. I said, "But you can't fish with it." And he said, "What?" I said, "Well, you're just blind casting." And I said, I don't want to be hooked in the head because you're throwing a fly rod." "Oh, no, I don't do that." I said, "Yeah, I know, but you don't understand. I'm Irish, and you'll find a way." And so he said, "Well, okay." And I said, "Well, isn't there something we could catch with a fly rod?" And I said, "I don't know." I said, "You might could catch a ladyfish." So he brought it. He fished with me 3 days. We went out there, and like he said, I couldn't find a ladyfish with dynamite and pitchfork. And I thought, well, any other day I'd be running from them and tired of seeing them. He caught 1 Spanish, I think, and that was it. And I went out there where I, always had see them. But that's been quite a few years.
If you'd went out the next day,
I
you
hadn't
probably caught a bunch of
I hadn't
them.
had a fly rod on the boat in 20-something years, I'm sure.
So Bradley last week we were talking about the unfair arrowhead.
Mhm.
And I remember Brad Lee asking questions about it. So he just shared a story, which he called me and told me about this. Him and his brother went out fishing. They grabbed the red hot and the black and gold. And this was Monday a week ago. And they pinned down, they anchored down in one spot, and they caught 35 trout, with 20 of those being over 20 inches.
Wow.
Mm.
It's a good spot.
A hell of a
I know.
Where was he pinned down at?
I know where it was. I know where it was. He didn't tell me, but I know where it was because I know where he fishes this time of the year with that. But I'm not going to share that info. Don't worry about it.
No.
And I haven't been there, although I thought about it today because I could have got away from a little bit of that wind.
Mm.
But he said, I'm sure the water temps rise up in the upper 70s. That bite will probably die.
That's strong on any day, any weather, any condition.
Oh yeah, that's a good day.
And in that area, it's one of those areas where it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This time of year.
I know the one thing, I don't know, I tried on Monday just because I was trying to get first thing in the morning. I was trying to stay in tight and get away from some of the wind. And I fished I fished probably 3 or 4 different creeks and went up in them a little bit. I had enough water and everything, and we didn't do anything in the creeks. I mean, I didn't really see much. All the mullet that I did see are, within, they were right on the bank or within about 50 yards of the bank. And it seems like probably the last half dozen times out, that's where the majority of the fish we've caught have been too.
So Steve Black says, I can't catch a redfish anywhere. Are there any in Keaton Beach? There is a bunch, but getting them to eat has been a struggle the last week. I'm catching them every day, but I'm not catching the numbers I should be right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't have the numbers that you should have.
Right.
Oh, well, I'm seeing a lot of.
You are seeing a lot of schools with multiple fish in them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well-
That's what I was talking about. I mean, that one school was the first school that came through was.
Well, wouldn't you tell him to throw the aqua spoon in the copper and in the gold
Yes.
in the what, quarter ounce or the 3/8?
3/8.
Mm-hmm.
3/8 Aqua Dream Spoon. I
I
like the copper, but I can't ever get them.
Yeah.
So I'm throwing the gold.
What do you throw them on? 10-pound, 15
15
pound
pound.
braid?
15-pound braid.
And I'll tell you the spoon, I like that Aqua Dream spoon that I like is the one that's got the chartreuse sticker on it, the gold one with that chartreuse sticker. I do real well with that one.
In the darker water.
I don't really
Chartreuse
notice.
sticker, what do you mean?
So it's a gold spoon, but it's got a chartreuse. It's
Mylar on
It's a sticker.
It's a sticker. Yeah, it's just a reflective sticker.
And there's other companies that are going to that now too.
Mm-hmm. The whole, it sits inside the outlet. You can still see the gold spoon
it?
around
The
it.
back of it.
It's
Yeah.
basically like
It's
a
not on.
smooth
It's not
Johnson.
on the outside of it. It's on the inside.
No,
of the
No,
copper.
it's on the outside.
It's on the outside.
Yeah, it's on the
It's
outside.
basically like a smooth Johnson with a sticker on it that looks like scales.
Yeah, and I do really well with that one. I've tried a couple of the other colors. The hot pink one. They make like a burgundy colored one, and that chartreuse one always seems to do better. And I do that one and the gold one are the two that I do the best on.
My favorite is the copper, but I have not been able to get any
Hard to
local.
find.
I'll tell you a secret if you won't tell anybody. If you'll go get you a Sharpie, an underlined Sharpie chartreuse,
Mhm.
you can take a gold blade of anything, an inline. I used to do it on thunder spins, and you can make that green gold blade.
Yeah.
And when I bass fish, we did it before Lunkalure Larkin, before they made the one with the gold anodized blades and whatever. But you can take that green and put it on that gold blade,
Mhm.
and they'll eat it up.
Like a highlighter?
Eat it up.
Yeah,
It
like
is a
a
highlighter.
Yeah.
But you want a good one. You want a Sharpie brand, and it'll turn it that color.
Yeah.
And it will catch them. And I'm not going to tell you which Miradine that I work as a doctor either. You'll have to figure that out. But you can't get that look any other way. It's not that one.
No.
But
Although I
anyway,
feel good on that one.
Candy apple.
You can do the same thing with, that, you can put orange on the belly of
Mhm.
bake with that too. And you can put, and orange doesn't come out as pretty. But Bill used to make Bill Hall of Precision Tackle made a beautiful copper spoon. And, but it was a slick finish. And then he made the hex too, which was hammered. And that copper threw a lot of light.
I used to use the year that the water got so dark north. I used a lot of pink.
Mhm.
And that pink works.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried the black one yet.
Yeah. I mean,
And I imagine it'd work.
Black spoon is for super clear water. It's not for
Mhm.
dark water.
Right.
And the black spoon will catch some big trout and surprise you. So will the copper.
Yep.
The first year we had the copper, I had fish sharks and it's gone from me. I'll tell you later. Can't come up with it. Who had a cypress mill up there on 30 and what was the name? Well, good. I'm not the only one who
Everybody.
can't remember. Joe.
anyway, tell the story.
Jody.
Yeah.
Jody's daddy. What's Jody's last name?
If you ask me, you didn't ask me, I can tell you.
Roberts. Alan Roberts was with us. Bish and Alan Roberts. And Alan Roberts' son, who's now is what? The one that tournament fishes and fishes all the redfish tournaments?
Yeah.
He was 13 or 14, caught a 6-pound, 10-ounce trout on that black or copper, on the copper spoon right there at Carbody in that little creek. There's a little creek it's over in front of the pole barn. And he caught that 610. And that was Alan, and
Big old trout.
Alan's son. Yes, it was.
That's a
It
big
impressed
trout.
Bish and Alan. And that's been a long time ago. It was in the 90s. But that's when Bill first came out with that spoon. But my rule on the spoon color is when it's clear and calm, throw copper. Okay? When you're bone fishing in Belize, throw black. That's the 3B and the 3C rule. And when you're bone fishing, you're fly fishing because it's slick, right? And you can see the fish from 100 feet away. That's when you throw black. And if you're caught when it's calm, you don't have a good chop and it's clear, throw that copper.
So I meant to bring it, and I talked about it last week. The Florida Fishing Products
Oh, yeah.
top water is solid black, and conditions just haven't been right.
Yeah.
That water temp comes up, I'm gonna be throwing that, especially as clear as our water is, as clean as our water is right now.
Yeah.
I got to remember to bring that thing.
Yeah. Actually,
You won't.
threw-
You've been forgetting to bring them every time.
Actually threw some top water Tuesday afternoon when we finally got enough water to get in right on the bank. I had one fish blow up on it, a little redfish. But like I said, by that time they
Well, like I
pretty much
said, we're
shut
6
down.
weeks behind, which means right now we've got a chance, because what'll happen is we'll hit 85 degrees in 2 weeks, just like that. It'll happen.
Yeah.
The grass will drop out, and you won't be able to throw top water. So, going to do the same thing it did to us last 2 years.
Yeah.
It's going to be no, and you'll have about 5 or 10 days of it.
Mhm.
And then there'll be so much dead grass. I mean, floating grass out there. You can't fish any plug with a trouble.
So we have a question here for Greg from Leaf Lundquist. He wants to know what the best bait is for ladyfish.
Well, why is he asking me? Every time I see his videos, he's the one flying ladyfish all around his boat. I mean, come on.
Anything silver.
Anything silver. Silver, white, chartreuse,
Anything that moves.
anything that moves.
No,
I don't think it's so much the right bait. It's just being where there's ladyfish.
I try not to throw anything with silver glitter in it because of ladyfish. That's the truth. If the sun's shining, the 3S rule is
When the sun shines, throw silver. Jiminy Cricket.
So he put a little laughing emoji.
Mm.
So Bradley said he went out on April Fool's Day, did well on trout, saw a few cobia up shallow and 3 feet, had top water in hand, but they didn't bite it. Also saw a lot of bull sharks, which was when it was starting to warm up,
Yeah.
and now that's just went away.
All that's pushed back.
Yeah, it'll be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be back.
And it won't take long. I mean, you gotta get on the warming trend. We gotta get rid of this wind. This wind. I mean, typically I don't worry about wind too much, but when it's the kind of wind we've had for the last 4 days, 5
It's
days,
been brutal.
yeah. I mean, it stirs the water, it stirs the bottom, and it's a lot.
And the
of rain.
worst thing is all that algae slime on the bottom
Mhm.
is
It's pushed
now
up into the water column.
yeah, in the water column.
It's rolled up.
Yeah. So now when you're working baits, mid column baits, they're covered up with that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And all that'll settle back out. It won't take long, but it's just getting there. We still got another day of the wind. Saturday, they're saying it's going to be a nice day, but
Well, today was supposed to. Today we delayed and went out at 2:00 because the wind was supposed to die down from 35 to
25.
to
The
20,
25.
to 20, and I think it went from 35 to 40.
That's a way of doing that.
Yeah.
Whenever they say it's going to lay down during the day, I always, unless there's a direction change in there, I just have a hard time ever believing that.
So I pull up and the guy that fished with me, Ernie, he says, you're a really good fisherman. He said, but you really
Here it
suck.
comes.
He said, but you
You
really suck
as
at
a weatherman.
as a weatherman.
Yeah, I got that same sentiment.
You knew it
on
was
Monday.
coming when he built you up.
Yeah, but it's funny because most fishermen are probably better than most of the weathermen. But
Oh, no doubt.
like I said, this just the forecast changed so quick and so drastically from Saturday, Sunday and on Monday. I mean, it was
I really thought today, and every day, the wind direction has been favorable for getting up tight.
yeah.
Today
if you
it
have
didn't
any
matter.
water.
Today it didn't matter. We had water to get up there,
Yeah,
but it was just when it's white capping in 1.5 foot
Yeah.
of water.
it's just overwhelming.
When it's white capped in the canal,
Yeah.
you,
Well,
you put
you
the
can't
boat
control
back
the
on
boat.
trailer.
Right. So let's talk about tomorrow night. What's going on, Pat?
We're going to give a seminar, the three of us, the three amigos here.
3 students.
3 captains, 3 speakers are going to give a seminar on saltwater fishing out of on the Gulf at Wilson's Bait and Tackle at 6 o'clock. And we'll be, when she'll be closing up, we'll be in the store, and there we'll take a tackle break and walk over to the tackle stuff and show you what we use and how we rig it or any questions you have. The main thing we're after is for you to bring a question to ask.
Yeah.
And bring yourself in a question to ask so that you solve some mystery or figure something out that you don't understand. And it's not the time to be embarrassed or worry about someone not, something that you don't know. You won't get many chances to be around someone who has more skills or knows more or knows something different than you. It may not be that we know more than you, but we know something that works. And that's the key to going to a seminar, is just like on a charter. Have questions you want solved and answers that you try to get some answers for things that you're not going to accidentally stumble upon while you're out there on the water in your boat. But the other thing, we will be giving general knowledge and talking. I like to include as many tips as I can on things that may have taken me years to figure out on the water or figure out in regards to baits. There are a lot of mistakes people make because they get into a habit. You got to break habits to figure out new ways to catch fish, especially with the fish that are pressured as much as they are nowadays. And hopefully we'll have some answers for you. bring a friend and bring your questions, and we'll see you at Wilson's in Perry, Florida at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening.
Mhm.
Yeah, and even if you think you know it all, and come share some knowledge with us, and let's hang
Have
out.
a good fishing talk.
Yeah.
There's the best time. A lot of times, like Pat said, bring a question because it's always a conversation starter, and it's much easier to be able to talk and learn. You're going to find out something that you really want to know, and we can go up there and tell you all these different things and how to do it and everything like that. But if you know that stuff, it really does you no good. So, like you said, bring questions along if there's something you want to know. We can answer those questions. One of us will probably be able to answer most of the questions. And, that always leads on, and, it might just wind up answering a question for somebody else that they didn't know they wanted to ask or didn't ask.
Just like one of the, and you guys probably get this, one of the biggest things I get asked on the boat is, how do you tie a leader to the line?
Yeah.
And I can tell you the name of the knot, and you can look it up on YouTube, and you're going to find about 20 different variations.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's something you want to learn. I'll show you tomorrow.
Yes, that's I use like 3 knots.
That's exactly where I was going.
And there's videos of all these knots, and I watch them, and they run them on Facebook, and it's, now you hold this and you go 16 times this way, and now pinching that with the same finger, you turn around and get on top of the chair and turn it 17 times the
You
other
got to
way.
have your head upside down.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm going, really? I'm lucky to get 5 wraps out of anything on any knot. And, the uni, but I tie 4 knots actually. Palomar, the improved clinch. I tie a blood knot when I'm putting line on reel because I am not going to take it all the way down and retie to the base. I always leave some on and then tie that with the blood knot, and then a uni knot on the leader, and that's it. Those 4 knots are all I need. If they come up with something different, I'll just quit fishing.
Now, I do not use a uni knot lined leader anymore,
There's an Albright usually.
and I use the modified.
Mhm.
Well, everyone's got a favorite, but like I said, when the wind's blowing or when you're out there on the boat, it's hard to tie these fancy knots that look so beautiful that they tie on Facebook.
Yeah, the FG knot.
Really?
I can
Try tying it in 20.
I can
20,
tie
30
an
mile an
FG
hour
knot.
winds. Yeah.
And even then, I've tied plenty of them.
Mhm.
But when I learned the modified Albright,
Yeah.
there's no point. It's just as small. And
It's a small version.
It's fast. It's faster than tying a uni to uni.
Yeah. And it's one of those things you tie a couple different knots, you get good at all of them. And when you tie it, when you hook that fish, you're not thinking, uh-oh, did I tie a good knot? Because
That's
you've
right.
tied it enough that you don't even think twice about it. You can do it with your eyes closed. You can do it in 25 mile an hour winds.
Yeah, and then FG, honestly, is probably one of the easiest ones to mess
is.
up and have fail on you.
It is. If you don't finish it right.
I've never learned that knot. I just said, to hell with it. I'm using the blood knot on end to end in the reel, whatever.
I used to use them for
I
carpet
use,
fishing.
and if I'm in a
That was it.
hurry and I'm in the middle of season and I'm doing 7 rods tonight and I fish 5 straight days, I'll tie a surgeon knot, which I call a shit knot, pardon my French, but I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside the loop and pull it and say, I dare you to break and let's go. And that's refilling spools
Mhm.
because I'm in a hurry and I'm not going to even tie a blood knot
Yeah.
and at 1 o'clock in the morning and I've got 7 to tie. 7 rods to replace line on. I'm not doing it. But I don't ever get down to that knot.
Right.
If I'm doing braid and I've got the wrong people and they eat the braid down, you don't know you're not getting to that knot, so you better tie that right.
Well, I can tell you this. Yesterday when we were brim fishing, I remember why I hate monofilament so bad. And if I'm going to find some 6-pound braid
Mhm.
and throw that stuff in the garbage. Do you want it?
6-pound line, I don't have any use for it. Joyce was going up camping and with her horse riding group, and I had to go buy. I bought the cheapest 6-pound line they had. It was Zebco brand, and it was like 4,000 yards for $6. And I went, "This is me."
That's a
whatever.
deal.
I said, "Hey."
Sold.
And guess what? She never. I tied the rods together and covered the hooks with plastic bags so she would handle them, and that because she wanted them rigged and ready, she never went fishing. So I sure was glad that I didn't buy Trilene and XT and XL and all that crap. But now, back when I went in the day, Maxima made the best. Maxima was the 4-pound and 6-pound when I did a lot of ultralight fishing back in Georgia. I mean, you couldn't beat that Maxima. You could pull the truck, pull the boat, up on the ramp with 10-pound Maxima. You couldn't break it.
Yeah, I don't know
Strong
what this
stuff.
line was because I just had them spool it for me. That stuff is tough. I don't know what they put on there.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I don't do that anymore. But used to me, with it was XL and XT, depending on
Yeah, the trialing.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that limp,
Extra limp,
that
extra tough.
Extra tough was when you were fighting in the trees,
Mhm.
and XL was when you just wanted distance.
Yeah, that Berkeley for that lightweight stuff is good.
Yeah.
But you have anything you want to add before we sign off? We'll have a lot to add tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you guys want to be there.
We hope you'll come out and
Come out and see
come
us.
down and do the seminars. Maybe you'll be impressed enough to actually hire us and go fishing. That's what we're hoping for as well. But we really want people to be better fishermen.
That's right. All right. You got anything you want to add, Greg?
Nope, I think we've talked about all we could.
When are we coming back?
Outside of the
When will
wind.
we be back on? You gonna try next week? Or do you want
Depends on where the World Traveler's going.
to? What will I be next week? Let's see. I think I'm gonna be here.
We'll be here.
Well,
I know I'll be here. I
check
gotta
with
fish
your
Thursday.
check with your trip advisor.
I'm
Your
supposed to be in Louisiana, but they had some stuff going on, so I had to find a substitute for me. And I really
fire
want.
out there too right now.
I know I really, really want to be there right now.
Everybody I talk to out
But-
there that I know.
In 3
Yeah.
weeks, I'll be there anyway. So, but anyways, we'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow night. If
Yeah,
not,
come on out and see us.
If not, we will
See
be
you
back
next
on
week.
soon.
Good night.
Appreciate it. I need